So on my previous video I posted on YouTube, I was speaking about the sell. I was speaking about the sell that I was about to take or GU, and I said I was going to make the video when I'm done, when the trade has played out, and it was FOMC, so it actually played out pretty fast. It played out really fast, like very fast. And I had the made a mistake because the calculated reward was not enough to pass my phase two, which it would have passed. I would have passed my phase two if I had calculated it correctly. I would have passed my phase two. So that one is paining me small, but I'm really happy for this win because it was news. It was news driven, and it played like, I will show you the entry. The entry was so precise. Like I felt like it missed me. Like the entry was so precise. The spread was so close. Like the spread was so tight, but it triggered me in the real. I thought it missed me actually on the trade, but I entered exactly at this resistance level after that break of structure. That was my entry, so it triggered me, and I thought it didn't. My um trading view, sorry, on my MetaTrader 5. But I was lucky that he actually did trigger me, and he went straight to take profit. Like within a second, after he triggered, immediately he triggered, it just dropped. Within a second, look at that. Within a second, it just dropped. That was very fast. I could have passed my phase 2 25k, and I just need like $40 to actually pass the phase 2. So as you can see, the manipulation, the break of structure of the range, the retracements, the entry, that is just it, but with higher time frame direction, with higher time frame bias. And the bias is based off the AMD logic: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. That's just it. On my entry model as well was the same thing: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Enter the distribution. Easy. That's just my model. That is the edge. That is the edge I have on this market. That is the only thing I've been trading for the past a month, and I came out of a losing streak. And the funny part about that losing streak was I wasn't even trading my model. I was trying to modify my model subconsciously, without even knowing that I was doing that. After I have my 10k funded account, that was when I decided to sit back and actually know what was going on. And then I realized that I have not been trading my model, which was this manipulation, break of structure, and re-entry. I've been trading after the manipulation. I will not go into 5 minutes or 1 minute to look for a what's it called, a change in state of delivery, and then I entered that change in state of delivery, which wasn't a consistent model for me, because sometimes price wants to take more liquidity before breaking the structure properly or changing state of delivery the second time. Right? But this particular way of entry for me gives me more confidence. After I've seen that manipulation and that break of structure, the entry is always so nice. I get in, I take my 1:2, and I'm out. And I want to speak about something else on this video because lately I've been having this experience. Right? Look at this. Look at this. This is where I left the trade. This is where I closed the trade. 1:2R. This is what price did. Price did 1:9. Price is 1:9R. Now that would mess you up as a trader. That would make you feel like you have just wasted a great setup, which is a normal feeling, right? Which is a normal feeling. It will make you feel like you just wasted setup that would have, retired your family or get that BMW M6 series. But there's something I'm trying to bring out here. In this stage of my trading, I'm not really bothered about the money. What I'm concerned about is consistency. And what has my model proven to me consistently? He has proven that my model, when played correctly, will guarantee me a 1 is to 2 risk to reward. That is all I need. Don't get me wrong. I feel bad leaving this amount of money on the table. Trust me. But I know my time will come when I would actually leave trade to take out, to actually be part of this volume. I know that time will come for me. But for now, I need to build consistency. That is very important. That is more important to me now than making money. Because as long as I am consistent, I will make money. Right? And now, for an average trader that is still being driven by his emotion, being controlled by greed, ego, and all of that, because this has happened to me more than 6 times in the space of this month. Okay, May and June. It has happened to me 6 times, whereby I take a 1 is to 2 and price did 1 is to 10 and even more. That will make you think, let me next trade, let me try a 1 is to 5 or 1 is to 7 or 1 is that way. That alone is you leaving the circle of consistency. Now you're not chasing money, you're not chasing experience and the process anymore. You're not chasing the money. And trust me, if you keep on with that mentality, you might be in a very good trade. Price will do 1 is to 1 price will do 1 is to 2 and then reverse on you and go straight to your stop loss. That is why you need to stay consistent. That is not just consistent with your model, consistent with your entry, consistent with your risk to reward ratio, consistent with your risk. Right? Consistent with your contentment. This is not an easy job. Now it feels simple to me. Now I made money today. It feels simple, right? But it's not. It's simple because I'm able to do it because I've gone through the process of that grind, that beat down. This market has beat my ass down. Like, this market has dealt with me. I can't tell you for a fact. This market has shown me, like, this market has quenched my feelings. This market have dealt with me so bad that I have no choice but to change and do what the market wants me to do. If you don't do what you need to do to obtain consistency from this market will not stop dealing with you. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean that when I get into some trades, price might do 1 is to 9.8 or 1 is to 1.998, close to 2R, and reverse to my stake profit, to my stop loss. That can happen because the market and price is the movement of price is not predictable. Put that up here. It's not predictable. That's why you need to stay consistent with your risk to reward, your model, and everything. If you check my losses, they're almost the same numbers that I'm losing. $150 to $300, because that's what I risk per trade. $150 to $300. That is all I risk per trade. Target of 1 is to 2. Then when I get to my funded, I risk just okay, on my 25k account, I've not started trading 50k, 100k and above. But when it comes to 25k, what I risk on my funded, that's when I'm done with the evaluation phase, when I come to the funded part of the trade of the account, I risk nothing less than $250, and target 1 is to 2, that is $500 in profit. If I get to take risk, my take profit targets get hits, I will be making $500, a little bit above that, not more, and wait for payout. Consistency. I just want to stay consistent. I want to do this consistently. I want to be able to get a certain amount of number consistently from this market. If I'm able to make payouts of about $400 to $500 on a probably twice in a month, yeah, because so far I've been able to get into 4 good trades this month. So let's say I'm funded 25k, and the next month I got into 4 good trades in that 25k account. The first trade I withdraw $460 or $500. Second trade I withdrew 4 times. That is about approximately $2,000 in a month. Now that is not a groundbreaking amount of money, but that is something I can do consistently. That is something I can be getting from the market consistently, and that is it. That is so much. That is a lot to take stress away from you, to make you relax. That is most times that is just what you need for the meantime, until you are able to scale and get bigger accounts and start racking up 4 figures to 5 figures on a regular basis. But when you are able to do consistently these little numbers on a smaller account, consistently, key points is consistency. When you are able to do that consistently, trust me, if you get to a $100,000 account or a 1 million, when you get funded in the 1 million, it will look like a subconscious behavior, because you have already done that a lot of times. You can just subconsciously start making a consistent amount of money in those accounts on a regular basis. If you can do that, I believe if I can do that, because this is my experience and I want you to learn from it, if I can do that, I can scale. If I can do consistently what I'm doing now on these small accounts consistently, I will eventually get a bigger account, and with the same consistency, I can rack up a whole lot of numbers, unimaginable numbers. I can do it, and if I can do it, you can do it. So that is basically it for this video, and this is just going to be the part 2 of the first video I did. So yeah, it was a good trade. I'm grateful to God that I was part of this trade. Price action was beautiful. FOMC came out and price moved with the direction I was. I don't predict price. I don't know what price is going to do next. What I entered was my model. What I traded was my model, and what my model was telling me. My model was telling me to sell, and I confidently got into that sell it was telling me, and I reaped the benefit of it. The whole thing still boils down to having an edge. This is my edge. I'm still having a little bit of doubt, because I'm just trying to see results, right? How long can this keep on going? That is my concern now. Can I keep doing this? For how long? Will it repeat more often? Will it repeat itself on the market on a regular basis? Will it stop repeating? There's only one way to find out. Keep coming to the charts and keep trying to keep looking for your model. That is the only way to find out. And that is what I'm going to do. Trust me. I'm always going to come to this chart every morning, whether I take a loss or I take a win, to look for my model. If I don't see it, I don't trade. It's that easy. But first, you have to get your model. Because when you come to your chart without a model, it feels like you don't have a direction. But me having a model, I know when to come to the charts, I know what to look for, I know what I'm expecting. If I don't see what I'm expecting, I don't trade. That gives me direction. So try to get an edge. Try to understand the market to an extent where you can see something repeatedly so much that you cannot incorporate these repeated actions, into yourself and make it an edge, make it something that is part of you. I posted this trade on my X account, the before and after. It was an interesting trade. I'm grateful to God for it, honestly. I wish I can show my trade entry. Hold on, let me see if I can. Okay, I can show that now. So that is basically it for this video, and I hope this makes sense to somebody. I hope this video is able to, enlighten somebody. I'm able to enlighten somebody on my experience on this chat for today, right? So that is it. See you on the next one. Peace out.